Hi, and thank you so much for joining me for today's process video. And today is One Sketch Three Ways, a series that I participate in with my two friends, Helen and Jackie. Their details will be linked in the description box below. And each month we choose a sketch to work on and each put our own interpretation on it. So this month, because it's 30 days of sketches, we've gone with today's sketch, which is by Jessica Michaels. It's in the top left-hand corner there, and it's got three gorgeous strips going down it with some mixed media behind, and then one 4x6 photo, but I've switched that to 3x4 photos. So this is a recent visit to London that we made, and we went to San Carlo's in Covent Garden. It's one of our favourite restaurants down there. So I took a picture of Ross with Amelia, and they took one of me and James, and that's what I'm documenting. So I went through my scraps and chose three strips to go down behind the photo. I wanted to try and match the green that Ross has got on his top, the gold yellow that Amelia's got in her jumper, and also in the lighting fixtures behind us, and then the darker gold in Amelia's jumper. So first of all, I chose three papers, and I cut them to 2.5 inches wide by, I think it was 8 inches long, and then I chose three coordinating inks from Tim Holtz Distress Oxides to brayer behind those strips. So I'm starting off with, I think it was Uncharted Mariner, the dark blue that I used, and then the pale yellow was Scattered Straw, as far as I can remember, and the golden colour is Tea Dye. So just squidging those down onto my glass mat, and then adding some water, and then brayering those onto the background. Once those are down, I'm just going to use a paintbrush to add some splatters with the remaining ink, and then I shall have to leave this to dry. I'm not very patient, but determined to leave it to dry before I carry on layering up behind it. So there's the background done. Put it to one side and work on the other bits. So first of all, I'm going to distress all these edges. I won't make you watch that, but just using my Tim Holtz edge distresser to distress all those edges to give a bit of texture. And then I'm matting the photos onto some scrap white card, and then adding that onto some black and white diagonal stripe. It's the one from Simple Stories Lakeside that I use quite often. I just love the black and white. It really gives photos a pop. So just trimming down those white edges. I don't want them to be too big, because I don't want this photo block to dominate the layout too much. I want the photos to be the focal point without sort of taking over. So here's that paper that I was talking about. So just going to map those photos onto that, and then, as I say, I'll trim that out, and that creates my photo block that's going to sit on top of those strips across the page. So we've got a Facebook We've got a Facebook group for this challenge that we run monthly. So I'll leave that in the description box down below. Do come and join us. It's really fun seeing everybody else's interpretation from the same sketch. So I hope to see some of you there and see you scrapping along. There's an album to put your layouts in so that we can see them all together. And there are quite a few albums now. I think we've been running this for almost a year. So do go and have a look and be inspired by everybody. So that's how the photos are going to layer on top of one another. So I'm just going to add these paper strips down now. Just doing it by eye. I've not used my ruler. I do bring in my T-square ruler, I think, in a minute, just to check everything's straight, because from where I sit, it's not always easy to tell if I have put things exactly straight. So my T-square just gives me a little bit of reassurance before I carry on building. Oh no, it doesn't look like I did today, so I was obviously feeling confident. So just sticking those two photos down. I'm not using any foam or anything, they're just going flat down onto the page. And you can see Jessica's got a scalloped edge down the left-hand side of her photos. I would say that's one of her signature things. She does that quite a lot, and it's really cute. But rather than using a scallop die, I decided today that I'm going to use some pom-pom trim. But first of all, I wanted to add a tag above the photos just so that I could use some American zine binding through the hole to create a bit of movement on the left-hand side of the page there. So here's that pom-pom trim that I was talking about. I start off with a grey piece and add a piece behind the top photo and then a separate piece under the bottom photo. So just using my wet glue to get that stuck into place. I glue it to the photo and also to the base just to make sure that it's well and truly stuck down. And here's that second piece that I'm bringing in. And then once I brought the grey in, I decide that I do want to add the lemon as well. You can see it on the right hand side there. So I shall just add that as one long strip behind the grey afterwards. And I make it slightly shorter than the grey, just for a bit of differential and to add a bit of interest rather than making it exactly the same size. So here it is, just tucking it in and seeing how it would look as one complete piece, and I decided that that's definitely the answer. So just checking that I'm happy with the size that I've cut, and then I can glue that into place. So once again, just running a bead of glue across the page, and then I can glue that down on top of that and tuck it under the grey one as well, so it's nice and neat. So now I wanted to bring in something to act as my anchor for the right hand side cluster. So I brought in this film strip. It's left over from a layout that I did previously. If you watched my previous layout, you will have seen that. So just bringing that in, and I'd gone through my stash and just pulled out some mustard and teal embellishments to add to this layout. So first of all, I wanted to add the seam binding. It was the perfect colour to match Ross's jumper there. So I've just layered that down the left-hand side of the page. And then I had this pre-stamped tab from an Ellie Studio stamp. So I've just popped that at the top. It's in a nice grey, so that matches the pom-pom trim that I've got there. So gluing down that film strip. And then the ticket, that's a 49er Market ticket. Like I say, all my leftover embellishments are just in a little plastic tub, and I just went through that to see what else I could add. These are Pink Fresh Studio puffy stickers, and I saw this one that said grateful. Again, it's the right colour, so I thought that would be nice to add as a subtitle to that cluster. And a little flower, just to bring everything together, and then bringing in that lovely butterfly there. This was from an American Crafts collection from last year. And then these stars, it's a gorgeous chipboard piece that my lovely friend Jackie had got for me, and I just had this piece left over, so I decided to add that as another element to that cluster in the bottom right hand corner. So just using my wet glue to get that stuck down. And then using the same wet glue just to stick down this seam binding. I don't stick it all the way down. I don't run glue right the way across. I just use dots of glue just to hold it in place. So it still looks like it's got movement. It's not flat to the page, but it's not going to move when it's in my page protector in my album. Just takes a little while, but it's well worth doing. Almost there. Just a bit at the end. And there we go. So I also pulled out my 12 by 12 sticker sheets from Simple Stories, and I found this one that's my story. And again, this book was just perfect to go with that green that I was looking for, and it says share your story, so I think that's going to work really nicely down there. And then a few word phrases. One says so happy, that I put at the bottom, and then I've got memories and the good life at the top. Again, all the right colours that I was looking for this page, and of course the sentiments are perfect. So now I've pulled out some American Craft stickers, and I'm going to spell out my title. It's just where we were. So I'm starting with the white letters for San Carlo, and then I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce. I think it's Cicchetti is the name of the type of food, and it's almost like a tapas style service. So that's the name of the restaurant in Covent Garden. So I'll just spell that out with the letters, and then underneath I'll write Covent Garden, London, just in a black gel pen. So while I'm doing that, do remember to check out the description box below and watch Jackie's and Helen's videos. I can't wait to see what they've done this month. It's always fun to see how we each interpret the same sketch. So do check them out. I'm just finishing off here, adding a few more little bits and pieces. These are some more Pink Fresh Studio stickers. The colours of this collection, it's called Good Times, was just perfect. So I've added a couple of the little frames down at the bottom there. You saw me stamping my date on that tab, and also just below the title, just to add a little bit of interest there. And now I'm coming in with some waxed twine, and I'm going to add a little charm halfway down. I'll just glue it to the pom-pom trim. I tie it onto the waxed twine, but then again, just to make sure that it stays in place and doesn't flop around the page protector inside my album, I shall just glue that in place. And that little charm just says joy. It's one that we had in the advent box in 2023 from Hey Little Magpie. So that's how it's going to sit. I will add a couple of dots of glue just to hold those wax twine pieces in place as well. I'm doing a lot of messing, sorry about that. Just wanted to make sure that I was happy with the positioning. And here we go, there's that glue again, just to hold it all in place. And I wanted to add something else to the bottom right hand corner as well. So you will see me bringing in one of our flare badges from Hey Little Magpie. Just a little star, again with that lovely green. So it's bringing that into the bottom there as well. I think this was from the Spectrum Gardenia collection, I forget now, Spectrum Sherbet possibly. But that's the layout done. I hope this has provided some inspiration. Do come and join us and hop along with this fabulous sketch. Other than that, I shall see you very soon. Thanks again. Bye.